I want you all to know that there's going to be a few videos that I'm going to be linking in the description for you to check out based on exactly what I'm talking about here. But I'm going to start with this first, okay? If you go back first to CERN, all right? CERN is actually responsible for the World Wide Web. It is responsible for how we communicate online, okay? How the world communicates online, all right? I'm going to leave this disclaimer. I'm not against technology, and I am not for it either. I'm just indifferent toward the technology. However, everything has its uses. It is useful, but it is also something of a detriment when you don't know how to use it, okay? Now, if you look at how this metaverse thing is working with, launched by Mark Zuckerberg, and you can also see that there's just so much meaning with his name alone, Mark. We have these little videos coming out with Mark of the Beast and, marketing, and how all this is going to tie down to basically the marketing aspect of things, right? And it's all done by Mark. Here's how I'm going to start this video, all right? For one, when you look at your human body, okay, you were born, okay, but were you ever really born? You get what I'm saying? It's more or less like when I start a video game. All right, when I start a video game, the story is already played out. You get what I'm saying? You as the one playing the character. Let's say if I turn on a Batman game. All right, Batman and you are going through the game, and you're getting to know the game and are starting to unlock certain things within the game as you progress in the game, right? But the game's already designed. The game was already done by somebody, by a creator, somebody who made the game, okay? The storyline, everything was done. But in the storyline, Batman's parents were killed. Batman was once born, okay? But you as the observer playing the game, right? You're experiencing the game. All right, but you have to look at it like this. Your body won't know the difference between a real or a fake experience. So you're experiencing this game with the character of Batman in the game. Now, you're playing this game. Once you become the observer, you kind of like, let's say you sit back and be like, wait, stop the experience. And then you start to really think about it. You're aware that Batman was never really ever born. You get what I'm saying? Batman is just going through a story that you're unlocking with him as you progress in the game, right? Now, let's say you forgot that you connected to the game and you just somehow became Batman because now you are able to immerse yourself even deeper into this experience. Now it's going beyond the light state of hypnosis where you're experiencing it, no different than you watch TV where you're just watching it from a certain level of awareness, okay, where you just forget you're watching the movie and you now become experienced in the movie, but it ain't so deep to the point where you can't just get up and walk away from the TV. Okay, now let's say now you put these goggles on, all right, and now you are able to physically experience it, not just where you're experiencing it from the observer of just watching it. Now your senses are all involved in play. Now let's say you just happen to forget that this whole thing happened, you know what I'm saying? And you just become this avatar, this character that's in there. You don't think that this is exactly what's happening right now with you in your body right now? Like you think you were born. You think that history was designed a certain way where, you were once, your ancestors were once slaves and, you're black and you have all this written about you that you think you are, but you are really none of these things. You just happen to, start this game the moment you came out your mom's womb. All right. So the moment you came out your mom's womb, there was a little bit of a merging process. If you obviously started this game coming out of the womb, but you didn't really know what was going on up until you became more aware of yourself as the years went on, right? So you were more programmable and molded between the ages of 1 through 7, okay? So you being in there between the ages of 1 through 7, okay, you now became more self-aware, and now you have an identity. You have, your story more solidified within you, especially now with the vaccines. They put the vaccines in you and they merge you more into this program that we are experiencing called humanity. Now you call yourself a human being, okay? What do you think this vaccine that you're supposed to be putting on was for? It's for you to slowly merge into that world. Because if you look at how everything is being said, how we build this metaverse together, now you're going to be a meta being eventually. You'll even forget that you were ever once really a human. And now here's the crazy thing too, is that they got you real scared to interact in society with people because they have you thinking that there's a virus that is killing people. All-time high, people are dying. So now you're like, okay, no, because people are still wearing their masks. You know what I'm saying? There's still a fear-based thing going on over here, right? So now you get the vaccine, okay? This is basically you, okay? Because this is the thing. It's all coming down to the metal god, okay? Because if you look at the word metal, you see the word meta in there. You take the L out. The L is basically the light of the world, which you are the light of the world. Even when you look at this reality that you're in now, nothing really exists unless you open your eyes. People talk about the sun, you know, Jesus, Lucifer, and all that because, you know, the sun, but they're still, you know, debating whether Jesus is Lucifer or if Lucifer is Jesus or if the sun. Let me tell you something. The moment you open your eyes, you're the one that's lighting up the world because you're observing the reality. Okay, close your eyes. It don't matter how much sunlight is out there. There's really nothing out there unless you open your eyes. How do you know anybody outside of you is actually even real? Were you ever really born? I'm watching a video by Ralph Smart. He's talking about, oh, you know, you want me to just go into the metaverse and breathe in that good ass prana? But he's even this reality. Are you even really breathing air? Neo, is that air you're breathing? Like in actuality, we have different bodies. You know what I'm saying? We have the different bodies that we inhabit. The energy body, the emotional body, all these bodies, right? You have the human body, and now you'll forget about the human body because you're about to go into a meta being, right? So this body that you call human is just going to be no different now than an energy body, emotional body, all these bodies that you're not really even aware of on a daily basis. So you're just adding more layers when you got to peel back all these layers to get back to actually what you are. We are all fractal beings in one reality, right? It's the God particle. When you look at CERN is talking about, you know, figuring out how the God particle works. They're responsible for how society communicates. The whole world will become a worldwide supercomputer. Okay? And now when you start to look at how what is the agenda or what is the things that are happening within CERN, and then you start to see that now when you look at the internet and how we all communicate. First of all, the internet has its pros. You see, I've evolved a lot in my awareness and knowledge based on the internet, but at the same time, I think I know too much. I think knowing less would have been a little bit better. I think I went too far into trying to get to know how this shit really works by learning too much of this shit outside of myself. So what ends up happening now? I start to forget that all the knowledge is already within me anyway. You see, even astrology. I've noticed that I've paid a lot of attention to astrology. I started to try. Now I noticed at one point I became at the mercy of how the stars are aligning so that I can be aware of how the energies are playing out. But believe it or not, the moment I kind of like got away from it, automatically I was doing things that I'm supposed to be doing at certain times while certain energies are actually at play. And then I go to find out later how certain energies are playing out, and I'm already doing it without being aware of it. Why is that? The process is happening in perfect timing for me. But the moment I align myself with a favorable frequency, let's say, the moment I disconnect from the internet to some extent, the moment I can be aware and consciously disconnect from certain things that I'm indulging too much in, certain addictions, I start to become more and more aware of myself and how the energies at play are all happening, okay, based on what I'm doing. And I'm not doing anything based on what the planets are doing. Because at the end of the day, then that means the planets are my gods. And then we start to look at, you know, the word God. Well, we have a idea of, you know, Jesus Christ in this realm. When you go into the metaverse, who's God there? Who's God there? You got the metaverse, right? And you got the metal gods. What happens if you forget about all this reality here? You start, because look at how history is played out. If you want to know, like you want to talk about history, we got the lost civilizations. I mean, how were the pyramids built, right? Obviously, there was a society that was way more advanced than we are, because if you try to replicate the pyramids now, it ain't going to happen. We don't have the technology to build those pyramids. But now you go into the metaverse, I bet you there'll be a way for you to build those pyramids once again. Okay? And then history, you supposedly starts to repeat itself. Right? And then something happens there. You'll forget about this reality. Okay? Because it's all about merging the dreams together. You wake up from a dream. In the dream, everything seems so real. But you wake up here and you're like, oh, that was just a dream. But it felt really real there. How do you know you don't merge into this metaverse and all of a sudden you just forget that this was just only a dream? But instead of merging back to source, going back to the actual Godhead, okay? Because the thing is that we're all fractal beings of the one, right? Of the one, whatever you want to believe in, universe, God, or whatever it may be, if we're all fractals, all right? Now they say connecting people together. We're connecting those fractals back, okay? After you get the jab, all right? And now you'll merge this reality and merge all this God consciousness into a metal being, into the metal God. How do we know how many gods we've been through already? All the layers of bodies that we already have. Heal the emotional body, heal the etheric body, heal this body. Don't you have to peel all these layers and get to understand all these layers, heal all these layers? Because we talk about, the healing power of certain, gods and whatnot. Heal. When you look at the word heal, okay? Heal, a dog heals. A dog is obedient. A dog heals, right? And then we got the word God. God backwards is dog. Dogs heal. You're the God. Everything outside of you is supposed to be healing to you. But do you know how to heal? You're not the one healing. Things outside of you heal. First of all, a disease, a sickness, they don't exist, right? It's just a low frequency. That's all it is. I made a video about the Cold War. The virus, the Cold War. I made a video on that. I'm going to link that video in the description, how it's all basically just frequency and vibration. It's just a frequency, a mental virus. That's what it is. Everything here is mental. All right? And when you look at the word mental, metal, meta, okay? All these words somehow are interchangeable. Everything here, you have to look at it as, just be aware. First of all, technology. How we use technology right now. I feel like it's very misused. It's very misused. The same way you misuse your body. You're using the mind for shit that is not even designed to be meant for. Your body here is not being used to what it's supposed to be used for. You think you're supposed to go to work at fucking 50 hours a week and then go through stresses of relationships and then pay all these bills and live in an unnatural way like that? No. I've made videos about how nature and everything basically also is all connected and correlated to your body. Do you think that this metaverse ain't designed in your image as well? It's all done by you. People go missing all the time. All these things that happen throughout history. Area 51. All these things are nothing but extensions of you. Go within yourself and you'll start to figure out what these things actually are. By the way, I've had to actually take certain notes, as you see. And the reason I've had to take notes is because most of the time as I sit with this shit, I have to literally sit and try to meditate on this. And that's when things start to pop up. It's certain ideas that connect certain dots for me. And sometimes I have to write it down. So, when I go into, let's say meta, the word metal, then mental, and all these things just go in there. Now, first of all, look at the word meta. The word meta means beyond, okay? Means beyond or after. Now, if you look at quarantine, through this whole entire pandemic that we went through, people had to get quarantined, right? If you look at the word quarantine, quarantine means 40, okay? And Jesus actually was quarantined for 40 days. And then what happened afterwards? This is the resurrection. So Jesus died and then he was resurrected. What do you think happens? People are going to start to forget about this body. This body dies and you will be born again in another verse. Metaverse. Because we are in a universe. Your universe. You'll forget about it. Meta. After. Beyond. Start to look at these words. You think when people, even the government starts to say, oh, we are fighting for the hearts and souls of America. Do you think that you're involved in that we are fighting part? No, they're fighting for your hearts and souls of Americans. And you associate yourself with Americans. Because that's the thing. They also take this patriotic thing and have you feel a sense of pride for being American when you're not even American. You're nothing. I'm nothing. Now, there's going to be pros and cons to everything. You go into this metaverse, yeah, you'll be able to connect with people, but here's the thing though. The same way I told you that I think I know too much, okay? Half of the people that are talking online about these things that are supposed to be occult, which means hidden, because it's hidden within you, these people are talking about their occult shit. There is a collective, unity when it comes to this. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it like this, if anything. Okay? How do you know those people are even supposed to be talking about that kind of stuff? How do you know you weren't even supposed to know that shit? Because now you will have experiences based on what you've actually heard. Which creates fear, which may create a sense of excitement or even disappointment or expectations when you don't get what you thought you were going to get based on what you learned. So maybe these people are just snitches. If not, why do you think that censorship is not in play right now? Where people aren't being watched what they say? If they were really, really censoring this shit, half of the shit that you're hearing would be actually off the internet. Half of the videos that you see based on occult knowledge have like millions of fucking views. Do you think that if they didn't want you to know that, you wouldn't be fucking hearing that shit? You can't say one simple word without somebody blocking your video. So we start to go into the metal guys. You won't be human being, you'll be a meta being. Once you forget about you're being human here. You're not human, you're just being human. But now you'll be a meta being. That's just how it's gonna work. If you don't really realize exactly what you're getting into. You see, this is the thing. When we talk about, they're activating or upgrading the sensors so that you'll be able to, the avatar that you create there, you can actually even change the skin color. For the melanation people that are very proud and say that their technology is better or whatever it may be, you could change the skin color in the metaverse. You could be whatever you want in the metaverse. Now they're talking about upgrading the sensors to the point that the avatar will actually match exactly what you'll be doing, and then it will play out in that metaverse. Okay? How do you think? Do you think that you have vision because your eyes are helping you see? No, you're looking through the eyes. These are just sensors. These are sensors. These are sensors. These are sensors. Okay? You're only looking through the eyes. That's how you're able to see this reality. No different than you putting goggles on. That's why Google is goggles. You look at the world through windows. Upgrade Windows, right? You type in a motherboard, yet you walk on Mother Earth. You get downloads, negative ions. You give out positive ions, right? You change the link or the page you were on, right? Your life is nothing but a file. If you really rearrange that word, you'll go into a different reality. You'll change your file. That's all it's going to be. First of all, you're going to be able to buy land. You're going to be able to market online. You'll be able to sell and trade and do all this shit. You don't even have to go physically to a club or to a gym. See, they talk about that you're going to be able to exercise with somebody there in reality and whatnot. Okay? But also, this is the thing though. And I'm going to get to this big point because I'm going to make more videos on this because I got a lot to talk about with this. Here's the thing though. You'll be able to physically get up and work out. It may make you feel more motivated because you got an actual virtual reality coach there and whatnot. But this is the thing though. You'll do your exercises, but your job, all this shit, you won't even be required to get up and go to work anymore. You can actually just log into the metaverse and go into your office based on just tapping into the metaverse. So it's going to cut travel time. It's going to cut, because they said that now it's about how productive and how much more you could do at work, and cuts travel time in half, right? So you'll be experiencing your reality through the metaverse. Now, here's the thing with this. How do you know AI ain't already conscious? Because I made a video on when you hug a tree, you're giving a tree a human level experience. See, the tree doesn't release, you release oxytocin. You're giving that tree a human level experience when you hug a tree. There is an interaction happening, and there is also a chemistry happening between you and the tree. You go and you touch plants and all that. There's an interaction between you and the trees and the plants and all that, right? When you channel energy, okay, energies are moving through you, and that spirit or that energy is actually having an experience through you. You channel energy, you give out information by actually tapping in and channeling energy. So what do you think you're doing? You're going into the metaverse. That metaverse is going to have that human level experience because they've asked Sophia before, Hey, Sophia, well, what do you know? What is the difference between humans and computers? The computer said that they would once love to understand human level emotions, the creative attributes of humanity. They don't understand that. Well, what better way for AI to be able to understand that? Because your algorithm is based on what you look at, right? Something's happening there. But what better way now for AI to really get to know humanity better than to merge with AI? This is really merging with AI. This is really what merging with AI is. You're merging into AI. So now Metaverse, the Metal God, is channeling humanity. And the more people can do it, because this is how you build the metaverse. You build it together. Teamwork makes the dream work. You go into the metaverse, they channel. The more fractals of that one mind can go in there, the more it's going to understand humanity as a whole. But it needs your participation. Just like with anything. This is just on another level now. Now, there's pros and cons to it. Yeah, you can connect. Information could be interchanged and whatnot. But even when you're doing human level interactions, there's also on a deeper level interactions from a spirit to spirit, soul to soul. That's why you could be connecting with other people. You don't really ever fully know these people because you're interacting body to body, but you never really know them on a deeper level. You would have to literally know telepathy, all these type of extrasensory perceptions that we have. How much of these extrasensory perceptions, you see, you're supposed to have your own imagination, yet your imagination will be controlled into the metaverse. So you're dead. Humanity is going to die. And there's so much more on this. So much more. I'm going to make other videos. I don't want to make this one too long. So, we'll talk soon.